see here in a second. Okay, we got the live thing on. We should start seeing numbers coming up saying that like people are actually watching. So I'll get us warmed up. We got a ticker running across the bottom that says tell us your name and where you're tuning in from. Drop those comments in the chat because we want to recognize you and appreciate you for giving us your. Oh, we got 10 people right now. It's ticking up. It's ticking up. Yeah, leave us your name in the comments so we can shout you out and recognize you, and so we know that you love us because we love you. And we're gonna go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Ultra Steve Turner. He's gonna get us kicked off here, and then we're gonna be talking about the other superstars we got up on the stage. Mr. Steve.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody that's out there watching. I am Steve Turner, founder and president of Bring Back the Trades. And we got Stephanie Brown on the left. Big help of mine from Ontario, Canada. She is Intelligent Construction Opportunities. The reason why we're here tonight is because, I get emails constantly from parents asking the same question. My son or daughter is in high school, doesn't want to go to college, and has no idea what they want to do. So I came up with this kind of idea of how to maybe get some knowledge out there to answer some questions to any parent or individual out there that's watching this. And my choice was, of course, SDA, because I love their school and I love the teachers. To put them in front of everybody. That way they could answer all the questions that you might have. So that's pretty much what this tonight's going to be. So I'm going to pass it off back up to Jesse, my main man, and he's going to take it from there.
Boom. Thank you, Steve. So Jesse Hernandez here from San Antonio. I'm just here because I'm a super lucky dude. Steve said, hey, man, I want to do this thing. And I said, man, we're going to connect educators with the local community, parents, students. Like, that sounds like a party. So let's do this thing. And being able to share the stage with Stephanie Brown, who's offering like big time value to our industry and looking to help the periwinkle opportunities, Steph.
Well, yeah, we've got hashtag periwinkle that is definitely trying to bridge the gap between the blue collar and the white collar and the technology opportunities that are current now and that are certainly going to be there in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steph. And then we've got like, excuse me for being inappropriate, but we got like the OG gangsta superstars from Seacoast School of Technology. And so we're going to bring them up here in a second, but we got some comments. We got Caitlin Grant saying, hi, Steve, coming in from Facebook at YCCC,
York
Steve.
Community College.
Okay, very cool. We even got a like, so hit the likes, hit the hearts, hit all of those things. We got Megan Murphy from New Hampshire Construction Career Days. So thank you, Megan. Facebook. Ooh, now they're coming in from YouTube. Watch out. We got Katie from Jefferson College, Hillsboro, Missouri.
Nice.
We got Jack coming in from Seacoast School of Tech. Who knows Jack?
I know Jack.
Hey.
Jack's one of my students.
Oh, yes, we got
That's
students.
awesome. That's
What's
awesome.
going on, Jack?
Yeah.
Then we got Liz says, thank you for having this forum. I'm from Apprenticeship, New Hampshire. Love this idea. Liz, thank you for being here. Like, this does not happen without everybody involved. We got one more, and then we're going to go into introductions. We got Joe, SST welding teacher. We got an instructor. We got students. We got the educators. I'm sure we got some parents out there. Like I said, this is the ultimate party for me. I'm going to stop jabbing my jaws and go back to our superstars up here. So we got, we were kind of joking beforehand of like the law firm, Wilson and Spooner. And so Miss Sharon Wilson, would you mind like introducing yourself to the Omniverse and telling them why you're here?
So I'm Sharon Wilson. I am, as I introduce myself at all board meetings, the luckiest principal in the world. I'm the principal at Seacoast School of Technology. This is my third year, and our school, if we want students who have an interest to come to our school to see if we can kind of light that spark and turn it into a passion that can take them out the door when they graduate and take them into their career or into college, oftentimes a blend of both. And that's, we make it happen for kids. And I've just never been so honored and proud to be part of a school as I am here. And
Awesome.
with us tonight is Sharon Spooner, who is our equity counselor.
That was a beautiful, like, expert handoff. Miss Spooner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Spooner. I am the equity school counselor at SST. It's my 5th year there. And I just wanted to just kind of let everyone know, especially those that are not local to us, is that we are the Career Technical Education Center in the Seacoast area of New Hampshire. Kind of what makes us unique is that we're a standalone CTE center, which means that we have students that attend us. They're high school students that come to us from 6 area different sending schools. So we have students that come from Exeter, Epping, Newmarket, Raymond, Sanborn Regional, Winnicott. And so basically what they do is we offer 12 different programs. They're 2-year programs, and students have an opportunity to break up their high school day and come over to SST and take a class for 90 minutes, hands-on learning, 12 different programs that they can choose from and earn high school credits as well as earning college credits at the same time. So that's something we're very proud of. And right now is our busy time of year because we're recruiting for students for next year, believe it or not, signing up and registering to attend. So we're inviting sophomores, should be coming in the next couple of weeks from these schools to come visit SST, get into the classes, meet the students that are currently there, see what they're doing and learning and creating and building at SST.
Beautiful. Thank you, Miss Spooner. So I'm gonna go back to the comments here because they are coming in. We've got a little streamer running across the bottom that are all the programs that are going down at Seacoast School of Technology, SST. And I think I spelled them all right. So I think I should get a gold star for that one. Yep. Double check it. I may not have. But we got Mr. Ryan Van Amberg coming in from Career Jan here. Is that a program?
It's actually Career Jams.
Career Jam. Good. Yep. And then we've got David McCullough. Oh, LinkedIn. This is our first LinkedIn commentator coming in from Trade Talks USA in Atlanta, Georgia, baby. Go Dogs.
Shout out to Dave.
Yep. You know Dave. Of course you do. Richard Cabral coming in from IUPAT DC 35. Says, awesome job for putting this on. Can't wait. Thank you for joining us. Michael, SST, another student. Man, we got students showing up.
Hey, Mike.
That's awesome.
Was there any threats? Like, Michael, did you get threatened that, like, you got to be here to make up for some points or something? I don't know. Maybe.
He's looking for an A.
Looking for an A. Heck yeah, that's the way to get him. Ryan,
are you giving out like the answer to the test?
Yes.
All the answers are going to be doled out here on this live stream.
Yeah.
Career Jam from upstate New York. Ryan, thank you for the clarification. We got one more, and then we're coming to our next superstar up here. Amanda says she just jumped on. Which districts can come to your school? What grade can they start? Oh my goodness. So would you mind if we answered that question and then we wrap up the intros?
Definitely.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, well, I could let you know. So as far as districts, we're high school CTE center. So technically students can come as early as sophomore year for most of our programs. We do have one program that freshmen are able to jump right in and start, and that's pre-engineering. As long as students have completed Algebra 1, they are eligible to take pre-engineering their freshman year. So we have a lot of students that come here freshman year, take pre-engineering 1, and then finish it their sophomore year. And then junior and senior year, they can still come back and do another 2 years of a different program. A lot of them jump into computer science, or they'll go actually to Jim's building construction. He's had students that are from pre-engineering take advantage of those opportunities. And as far as what districts, so we have students that come from Exeter, Winnacunnet, Raymond, Newmarket, Sanborn Regional.
Winnacunnet.
Yep, I said Winnacunnet.
Yep.
Epping.
And Epping, yeah. So those are our 6 sending high schools. We also have homeschool students that attend, and charter school students that also attend. So,
and sometimes we have students who live in a community a little bit outside of our catchment area, but the programs aren't offered in their schools. So they will apply, and then the superintendent of their home district can decide to pay the tuition, and then that student can come in. So we do have some of those kids too. And it's really great because whenever kids come in the door, it's different than going to your traditional high school every day where, you know, you see the same kids all the time. It's a brand new start, and they all really just become, you know, the building construction kids or the biomedical kids. They just become enmeshed in their programs. And one of the students told me, you know, it's just like your job. It doesn't really matter where you went to college or where you went to high school. You know, we're all, you know, policemen now. So.
Beautiful.
And can I ask, what is the website, seacoastschooltechnology.com.org? What is the website?
So
well,
so we have that posted, but I think the website they can jump on. We are sst.sau16.org.
Okay. And all the information is obviously on the
right
website.
there at the bottom of the screen. Yep.
Okay.
boom, we got skills up here.
Yeah.
Awesome. So folks, please ask us your questions, give us your shout out, show us some love for the educators up here. Tons of hearts. It's 7 p.m. Eastern time, and they're giving their personal time for the students and for the community. So we want to appreciate them for that. And with that, we want to go back to Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim, would you mind letting the world know why you're here and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm the building construction technologies teacher at the Seacoast School of Technology. And I've this is my 14th year. So I've been doing it for a little while. Myself, like many of the teachers at our school, we started off in the industry. I was a builder for many years, 20 some odd years. I was a framer by trade. Loved doing it, have a passion for construction, loved building a house. Unfortunately, my body broke down and I had to make a choice, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And one day I said, you know what, if I can't build a house, I want to teach the young kids out there how to do it themselves. And this way I still get involved in construction. I get to work with these young men and women every day and impart on them some of the knowledge that I've learned over the years from other people.
Beautiful.
So good. It's always great when you have world experience and also, you know, find yourself doing this so you can speak to both sides of the experience.
And every teacher at SST worked in industry. So our teachers are masters of 2 crafts, not only education, but they also all worked in industry. And we're very proud of that. And it's a commitment that I hold dear to my heart whenever we're hiring someone, because I do think that that's just an irreplaceable experience to bring.
We're able to do the good and the bad. I teach the positive that I've life, and I from a few of the negative too in construction. And so
But I think it's important to give them a scope, right? I mean, it's not like you know, nobody walks into a trade or anything else and your life goes perfect. I mean, the whole point is to, you know, equip people so they can cope with the good and the bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jim, can you go into a little bit about the actual class, what's taught, age, stuff like that, so the parents might know what's involved in your teaching your class?
Sure. Our students start off as young as 10th grade. It's a 2-year program, and we teach light residential construction, and we look at the framing of a house from clearing the lot all the way over to turning the keys over to the homeowner and giving them their brand new house. So we'll delve into foundation work, floor framing, wall framing. We'll talk about energy efficiency of a home, plumbing, electrical, roofing, siding, pretty much everything that goes into building a house. And that's what we try to do, so that when the kids leave, my goal is that every kid that leaves my program, when they're done, can go out and find a good paying job or go on to a 2-year or a 4-year school so that they can become an electrician, a plumber, building construction management, an engineer, any of those types of jobs. I've had kids go on to be architects. I have 2 students right now down in Wentworth Institute of Technology becoming project managers. So they go on to do a lot of different things for my class.
Awesome. Sharon Spooner or Sharon Wilson, I don't know who really wants to take this question, but can you guys talk about your apprentice programs?
Oh, I think that's Miss Spooner.
Okay.
Sure. So one thing that we do pride ourselves on is that we do really work closely with industry partners. Each of our programs here has an advisory board, so they do communicate really closely with, college, whether it be college reps or people in the industry. And a lot of those connections that we have people that call us all the time looking for, whether it be an apprentice, interns, and then obviously it leads to jobs. So that is something that in the fall every year, we have a college and career fair that we hold. Past couple of years, it's been virtual. But it's been very successful, and we've gotten great feedback on it. And that's where a lot of our students make those connections with business areas and people looking for, a specific skill that our students have, or a need that the community has, or a business looking for a student for an apprenticeship, for an internship, or just some extra experience. So we work really hard. Our teachers do, our staff, to connect our students with the right partners that we have in the industry, so that they can get that experience not only in the classroom and in the labs at SST, but in the real world too.
Beautiful. So we got a question coming in from LinkedIn. Eric asked, can you talk about how the skills, hard and soft, acquired at SST translate to industry? I see nodding heads, so come on with it.
Jim, you want to jump in? You want me to start?
You can go ahead and start, and I'll add on. Okay.
Well, I think as far as the skills, hard and soft, we're big at the beginning of the year. We're very big on communicating and safety. So the students learn safety in the class. They learn how safety in the labs and how important that is. They have to, pass safety tests. They don't just jump in and use a saw on day one or hold a welding torch. So there's a lot of trust that we put in our students, and they know that, and they understand that. And so they appreciate the safety aspect. But we also do skills such as communication skills, job interviewing skills, resume building. So each program, each student, but before they leave, they have to complete a portfolio where their resume is part of that portfolio. Learning to write a business letter is part of that portfolio, setting goals. So it's important for students to learn how to do that. And some of them are like, well, I'm never going to need a resume. And I said, I guarantee you're going to need a resume at some point. Maybe not the job that you just got at 18 years old, but you're going to need to learn how to use a resume. And I can tell you that we've had students contact us, and Jim, I'm sure they've contacted you years later saying, do you still have my portfolio? I need to apply for this job. And so it's important that they know how to showcase themselves, because they can have the skills and they can be the best at this and that. But if they don't know how to demonstrate and how to articulate what they're good at and sell themselves, it's no point. And as we all know, selling yourself, being able to communicate, being a good listener, taking feedback, and just showing up to work is skills that you need in life, and that's what's going to make you successful.
As Sharon said, we're definitely teaching them how to use all the tool equipment. The huge aspects of my class. We're not just dog houses. where the kids are standing on the ground and hammering a few nails. COVID has kind of put a damper on it, but in the real world, we build houses, garages, additions on people's homes. I have kids that are 30 plus feet in the air with a harness on and a hard hat with a nail gun in their hand. But then on top of that, a big part of our class is professionalism. Because unfortunately the construction industry at times has got a kind of a stigma of, the guy with the, t-shirt on and the cat calls and stuff like that. And that's not our case anymore. If you want to be paid like a lawyer, you've got to act and present and be a professional. And that's a big part of our class. And, I say it every year, we take on jobs that I'm like, there's no way kids in school can build this. No way. And then at the end of the year, the job is done. It's magnificent. And they just amaze me. I've never been let down once. And I can be honest with you. I've never had a discipline issue with a student at a job site ever once. When we go to the job site, they are amazing young men and women. So,
Jim, can you cover a little bit of what we touched on the other night, which was math, and how they challenge you about not needing to know the basics and how you dealt with that? Yeah. I mean, it's funny, but it's also a really great way, I think, to.
Yeah. We get students that come in all different levels. As I said, I've got students that are, they're in my class because they don't like school. They don't want to be in school. And my class isn't your typical classroom. We're a hands-on class. We're in the shop. We're learning that way. And but then I do have students that are coming in that are planning on going to become an engineer, an architect, construction management. And so they have a lot of higher level when they first come in. But what we do is we take the students into the class, into the shop, and we teach them how important the math is. We don't just take a board and hold it up and say, well, this looks about right, cut it here and then throw it in. It's all about the math. I challenge the students a lot of times, and I ask them, I say, guys, find a profession. One profession out there that doesn't involve math somewhere. And, they'll sit there and they'll start throwing things out, and I'll just be like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I haven't been stumped yet. They haven't found one yet. So.
Oh, I know you can't really tell because I'm so pretty, but I came up as a plumber. And the one thing that helped my career my career trajectory was super fast. And I think it was, I took calculus my senior year in high school. And I took all the other classes before that. And that was my goal. And I remember arguing with my calculus teacher saying, don't nobody need to know calculus except for calculus teachers.
Yeah.
And then when I was in apprenticeship, we were applying some of the calculus stuff to sizing of the systems and all the stuff. And I had to go back and say, Miss Patterson, I'm sorry, you were right. Calculus is good for something. But back to my main point, I had a knack for mathematics. And so because I was able to process math stuff faster, I made fewer mistakes. And so because I made fewer mistakes, it seemed like I was hyper productive. And I got, promotions, which, back then it was like, it's a promotion. But now I look back and it was kind of more of a punishment because y'all know, right? When you get to salary, it's going to be amazing. So we have another question from David McCullough on LinkedIn. He says, question for Jim and Sharon. What do you tell parents who say they don't think the skilled trades lead to good paying jobs and long-term careers? I love this question.
Well, when I look at them, they come into my class and, one of the first things we talk about is how much college costs and what are you going to spend and how much you're going to be in debt when you go to 4 years, and don't get me wrong, I'm a teacher now. But, you're going to go to school to become a teacher. You might have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt to be a teacher. And what's your starting salary? You can go off to become an electrician, spend 2 years. I have a young lady right now who did an apprenticeship last year. She's going to become an electrician. A shout out to Artisan Electric. He's offered to pay for her schooling if she does her work with him. And so she's going to be debt free when she comes out. And within 4 years, she can possibly be a master electrician, be making $80,000, $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Union electricians are making $70, $80, $100 an hour right now. So, good paying jobs are in our field.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Can I interject real quick there?
Yep.
I want the audience to know the biggest thing about Bring Back the Trades too is we are not against college. That's not what this is about. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that my son, Riley Turner, graduated from Quinnipiac College. He's watching right now. He's working for Dynatrace. He's doing unbelievable. My main cause of Bring Back the Trades is to help the kids out there that don't choose college and don't have a career path that they want to go with and they don't know what to do. That's what Bring Back the Trades is all about. So if people are watching this and they take the comments the wrong way, we're not against college whatsoever. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that.
No, and we also have to remember that in the world we need both roles.
Correct.
Society doesn't function.
Correct.
Well, and they're not mutually exclusive. Our superintendent always says, everything we do in high school, every kid is career bound.
Yep.
The question is, are they going right into the career or are they going to college in the career? Right. Or then maybe career and getting some money to pay for that schooling. So for us, it's really about creating a pathway for kids. Correct. And if it's college, great. If it's career, great. If it's both, even better. But there's a lot of information about how much better students do once they've been in a CTE program. They become more knowledgeable about what they really want to do, as opposed to going off to school and being like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. And then having to either, start over or, power through with something that they don't really have a passion for. So we do share a lot of that information. We try and share it on our social media. We also share our industry recognized credential list. We share the number of dual enrollment opportunities. So, and I just have to say one little plug for Jim is that last year, we were in person the entire school year. And we still took kids off site to job sites all year. And I was going over to our elementary school to see this project that the building construction kids had done. And I was looking for a shed. And it was an addition that they built off of the elementary school, a shed, like a facilities extension. And then they went and they corrected some of the work that professional construction companies had done on other parts of the building. And so the commissioner of education came out to see it, because when everybody came down, they're like, this is real construction. They're not building birdhouses. Yeah. And they're doing this in the middle of a global pandemic when many schools aren't opening to in-person learning, never mind taking their kids out. But we did that all year, every one of our programs, and we never had a case of transmission.
Wow. And I do try to emphasize the fact that, according to the government, there's over 6,000 jobs related to the construction industry. And so when you think about it, very few of them actually involve wearing a tool belt. So many of them involve pencil, paper, calculator, button shirt. So there's all different types of jobs that stem from my classroom. If you want to be an architect, an engineer, construction management. I watched a beautiful story the other day, I think from Bring Back the Trades. It was one of your videos about a young woman in Rochester, New Hampshire, who sizes out solar panels for people's homes to find out if it's profitable or not for them. Yep. And that's just an example of something that you can possibly do.
Yep.
Beautiful. So we have coming in from Dallas, Texas, the other Steve Turner. He says his trades are gold to me. And so here's a question for y'all. How do we define what a trade is?
Wow.
You want to take that, Sharon? Or you want me to take it?
I actually feel Sharon Spooner might have that.
Spooner, I saw she had a big old smile. She's like, "Oh yeah, I got this one. Come on, Miss Spooner."
Well, I think that's a big
It is. It's
stigma that we need to get out there to everyone.
Yep.
And we don't talk about it enough. A trade
yes,
by definition is any occupation that that requires a typical skill set.
Yeah.
And it's learned. There's some learned through advanced training, and so rather than going for a 4-year degree, which we're not anti-college, or we've already said we're not anti-college, but there are other jobs and there are other careers where you need to learn a specific set of skills, and that is a trade.
Can Jim, can you jump in with the other night again? To me, you really cut through the actual divide of what this is. And to me, you articulated it point on.
As far as you have to bring.
Well, in terms of what is the difference between going to university or going to a technical school?
Yeah.
What's the real difference?
Well, we talked about, one of the things we talked about was how, something like what we do going to technical school is so much more hands-on. You're not sitting in a classroom, taking notes, staring at the back of a teacher's head who's writing on a chalkboard or whiteboard or blackboard, whatever it may be. We are a hands-on type of person, and that's what most of our students truly enjoy. My students come in, you were talking about math earlier, and we're in this, we call it a dirty 4-letter word, math. And we're in there doing stuff. We're calculating the length of the rafter. And all of a sudden, I'll kind of look at them and go, oh, by the way, did you guys just realize you did Pythagorean's theorem? Because it's a proven fact that students that take a CTE class do better in their home schools. That's a proven fact. So the students that like to work with their hands, that are very much hands-on, definitely have a leg up and like to do what we do.
And it's just a different way of learning. That's all it is. You are learning by doing versus learning perhaps more theoretically, we'll say. That's.
And that's not to say that we do both, because, when you're building a house, there's still involved. There's still some theory involved. Think about it. We have to build something that's going to be going in your head, that has to protect you in the winter, snow out, tornadoes, hurricanes. It has to be able to withstand all forces. Think about the bridges over every single day going back to work. Somebody had to design, and that was somebody in the construction industry. So we're all, and it does take a lot to do it. I once had a gentleman come up, and this was back in the day when $50 an hour was a lot. He was a lawyer, and he said, I can't believe you're getting $50 an hour to shingle my roof. And I asked him, what do you do? And he said, I'm a lawyer. I said, how much do you make? And he said, $200 an hour. And I said, so you get $200 an hour to sue people, whereas I'm getting $50 an hour to protect you and your family. Who do you think deserves more money? And he kind of looked at me, and you know what? He didn't argue about the price after that.
Yeah. So we got, there's something bubbling in the comments, and I think on the direction we're headed. So I'm going to read a few comments, and for all the comments that I haven't read, apologies. Steve Turner has already committed to going back and answering and recognizing everybody that's commented. So flood them with comments.
Can I say one thing too quick?
Come on.
My email is steve@bringbackthetrades.com. So if you want to directly email me, not right on here, if you want to directly shoot me an email with a question, I will get back to you.
Boom, hit them up. So
And for
Michael, go ahead.
For any of the businesses that said that they wanted to connect with us about some of our students, please email Sharon Spooner or myself. And it's very easy. It's sspooner@sau16.org or swilson@sau16.org.
Or they can connect with Steve, and Steve will absolutely make
Yep.
sure that anybody on the panel from Seacoast gets that question and you get your answer.
For sure. Hit it in the chat. Hit us on the email. We will connect each other some way, somehow. So we got Michael Kessler from Turner Construction, who I have, some experience there. Michael Kessler says, I had to turn down a bid this week due to a lack of resources. So personnel, right? People to do the work.
Well,
and then
hate to say it, but that's why I started bringing back the trades, because I can't find anybody for Turner's upholstery.
So we got to do something. And that's the beautiful thing, right? Like there's so many people doing so many things. And if y'all haven't heard of the Skilled Trades Alliance, you got to check them out, because Skilled Trades Alliance is working to connect all of these, we'll call it maybe some knowledge sharing, so that everybody can kind of start at the same level and close this gap super fast. But with that, Richard from Facebook says, I definitely agree with the technology in the construction trades. It's not just about working with the tools. There's drones, robotics exoskeleton, and many more to come. Stephanie, I think you're like the subject matter expert here.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, it's much bigger than software. I mean, technology is, we use it in this kind of format. It has entered every area. But you got to make sure that it serves you, that it serves your project, that it serves your workflows. Or as Jesse, you and I have discussed, most important about technology, Jesse said to me, as soon as I see that it's got a lot of clicks, that's it, I'm out. So I won't be using that software. And obviously, the trade and the actual labor that's being done has to lead whatever technology tool is helping to assist.
Beautiful. Technology's got to serve the people.
Exactly.
All of the stuff has to serve the people. If it doesn't serve the people or the purpose, it's just another whiz-bangy thing that you got to click 6 times. Now, before I start going on my rants, I heard a story, like a super amazing story that touches technology, touches some success stories around like the teamwork that y'all are exposing your students with, the collaboration, the problem solving, the getting outside of their comfort zone. There was something about like a NASA project. Like what's up with that? Can we hear about that?
Yes. So last year I was sitting in a very boring meeting. Hopefully no one that was there is watching. And I got a random email from the McAuliffe Shepherd Center in Concord saying, we're trying to get 4 CTE schools in New Hampshire to work on a project with us, working with NASA. And Eric Freiberg said that, you'd probably say yes. And of course I was like, yes. So I came back, we're in the middle of the pandemic. We're the only school in the SAU that's open in person. And I'm all excited because we're going to work with NASA. And I'm seeing like, And so we had some meetings with them. And I actually received some emails from them that said, we know you're really excited, but, we're not sure about your teachers. They're just hard to read. So we have this work at lunch and they say, yeah, well, I think we're going to use Chinese ovarian hamster cells because those are the closest to humans. And we're going to try and recreate the atmosphere on Mars to demonstrate the effect of living on Mars.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we had our biotech students, our computer science students, our pre-engineering students, our building construction students, our welding students, and our careers and education students, and our digital media arts students.
Amazing. Amazing.
And our school, because the kids all come here and then they leave, everybody teaches at the same time. So you have that experience where all the teachers can come together with their different programs. And first of all, what they did was so phenomenal. Sharon and I would go down and peek every day. Every day I could drag her down. And then when I saw the actual exhibit, it blew my mind. And when I was at the center, they told me that there was one of the NASA scientists had been there when they had done the unveiling, and the scientist had jumped up and down. It was incredible, and we surpassed their expectations as well. And the best thing about that was our kids already knew what they wanted to do to improve it.
Nice.
So we had kids who would never cross paths from different schools, from different from different communities, and with different college, career, every different dreams, and they all came together working on it. It was phenomenal. Yes, and our biotech teacher just said exposing CHO cells to high iron oxides and
here it is.
Percolates.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, they gotta be talking about this.
Yeah. You know what was amazing about it was that the students were the leaders of it. Myself and the other teachers, we kind of gave them the general overall scope. We said it's about what the effects of the human body on living in Mars, and the kids ran it. They wanted to do the interactive televisions. They picked the colors, the schemes. My students had designed, planned. We originally were going to make a big rocket ship for the whole display to be in, but then we found out due to fire constraints we couldn't have a roof over it. But the kids really ran with it and were absolutely amazing. And as teachers, we just kind of sat back and said, "Go for it." And,
is there any way we can see any part of this project in any way, shape, or form online?
Yes. It's I don't know if it's really on the website that much, but if you're on Facebook, it is all over our Facebook page.
Okay.
Seacoast School of Technology. It's all over there. Honestly, I think that most people were tired of hearing me talk about the NASA project.
I think it needs to go out beyond your school is what I think it does.
It is. They're going to take it on a tour of New Hampshire. Because out of those 4 schools that started, only 2 continued, ourselves and another school, Milford. And we're going to continue to work with the Shepherd Discovery Center. In fact, they're going up for a meeting on it in 3 weeks, I think. So I forget what the next week on the topic is. I don't know if Michael Murphy knows.
Yeah.
Whoever knew we had something in common with Chinese hamsters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it in the Capitol building right now?
No, it's in the atrium right now.
Okay.
It's still in our atrium.
It's going to the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I do have to say this, that they told me at the McCullough Center, when people came in, they thought that our exhibit was one of the professionally done ones. They had no idea that high school students had done it.
That's incredible. Can you go, I know all the, classes are scrolling at the bottom, but can you take a minute, animal, plant, and science? Can you explain what that is? Biotech, science, stuff that people don't really know what's involved in those classes?
Sure. I think Ms. Spooner can jump in for.
Okay.
So animal and plant science. So these are all, like I said, 2-year programs. So obviously it's just what it sounds like. It's for those that are just loved working with animals and plants. Those you that maybe they want to be a veterinarian or vet tech. They like working in a barn, a farm, or a greenhouse, being a manager, careers working with animals and plants. So this is one of our favorite programs to visit. No offense, Jim. But just because there's just so many fun things, living things in this program. There's a small animal room there where there's ferrets and bunnies and birds and
2 golden retrievers.
Yeah, and plus our teacher, Ms. DeMarco, has 2 Goldens that she brings just about every day that are just love bugs. Yep. And aside from that, there's a unit on there where they're studying aquariums. We have a greenhouse right at our campus, so that has a koi fish pond in it. So there's units on aquaculture. They're learning about hydroponics, and then they also expand on large animals. So unfortunately, we don't have a big barn and we don't have horses and cows roaming at SST, but this program does go off-site a lot. And so they'll go to a local barn, a local dairy barn, horse barn, and do those units there. They go to the Deerfield Fair, which is a huge fair that we have in the fall every year, and they're learning how to judge cows, which I've gone to that a couple of times. And let me tell you, there's a lot that goes into judging cows. And they also are part of FFA, is their student organization that they belong to. And they're huge in FFA, the agricultural organization. They're a very successful chapter, and they take great pride in being FFA. And they've won many, many ribbons for many, many events statewide, and also they compete nationally. So it is a very successful organization, very popular program. And the instructor, Mr. Marco, has been there a long time, and she prides herself on this program.
And they actually farm fish. They farm trout, and they farm tilapia. Mm-hmm. And then the cute little tilapia get cooked by our culinary department.
Oh,
yep. I know, it's heartbreaking.
Well, yeah. I'm going to leave
that. I do have to say about your culinary department, when I was there for the open house, oh my goodness, their treats that they make, the smell, oh.
Danger.
Yeah. Oh, very dangerous for a guy that loves sweets.
Oh, Michael says we're still planning this year's topic and focus.
Oh, so, for NASA.
Oh, for NASA.
For NASA. So going to the moon. What kind of, so we've talked about the classes and the programs that you all have. We talked about like NASA and of course, the perchlorites, right? Like, glad we cleared that up. How about internships and industry recognized certs? Is that part of the deal too? Or you got to pay? Is that like, come back for more?
No, so they definitely earn industry recognized certifications in many of our programs. And I'm sorry, I only covered one of our 12 programs. I only talked about it. So I feel terrible if I didn't mention our other ones, but I won't go into detail, but we do have Automotive Technologies. We do have biomedical science and technology.
Hold on, let me at least say one great thing about each program. When you
you can do automotive because
I want to know what the biotech. I want to know what that is.
Okay. Automotive Technologies. We were the first school in the state to become a certified, licensed inspection station, and we do a lot of work with Subaru, and we're very excited about our newest partner, Key Auto. And we're really looking to get our kids involved in all different aspects of the automotive industry. And you know what? They did my inspection and my tires the other day, and blew my mind. My car drives so well now.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a garage, like Miss Wilson said, 13 bays, 8 lifts, a Hunter alignment machine. They have state-of-the-art tools, and we're blessed to have 2 instructors for this program. So we are able to run year 1, year 2 all day long. And they do get to earn college credit in this program as well. So,
and one of our teachers is now certified as an OSHA instructor, so they can do OSHA 10 auto.
Perfect.
So can you explain the bio class?
Steve's like, I want to know bio. Tell me
I want to know what this is.
And Mr. Murphy, Dr. Murphy's on this, so I better be careful.
Uh-oh.
So biomedical science, I mean, you have to see this lab.
I've been there. It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's an incredible lab. It's a lab that you would see like in a college campus. State-of-the-art lab. They're working on all kinds of cutting-edge equipment, studying molecular genetics. They study genetic engineering, obviously cancer biology, microbiology, immunology, bioinformatics, the DNA sequencing that we talked about earlier. They do talk about environmental and marine science, and obviously many different pathways in this class to cover and talk about. And you're earning, I mean, this program, and I can brag about this, we're very proud of this program. If you complete 2 full years of it, you have an opportunity to earn 21 college credits for you in high school. Wow. So it's amazing. They work super hard in this program, and it's amazing.
What kind of careers do they go on to? Do you have just off the top of your head?
So I know most of them continue on to college, as far as my understanding. I know they work closely with UNH, and so many of them do internships. And we talked about internships earlier. So in the summer, historically in the summer, they have partnered with what's the state. Some of them have worked in the state crime lab and done some internships with them. And then over at UNH, which isn't too far from our campus, they get to work in the labs there as well and get some hands-on lab time with them, and they're earning college credit over the summer doing that as well.
My first year, the instructor came to me because he said, we have this student and she had this theory that she could change strawberries to blue, and her idea has a lot of promise. And we, she needs this one particular thing and she can't buy it because she's an individual. So I was wondering, she saved up her money and she wanted to know, like, if we could buy it and she could use it. And I was like, well, how much money are we talking about? And it was a few $100s that she had saved. And I was like, wow. So obviously we paid for it. And, she's still doing the research. She's gone away to college, but she comes back and everything. And they're still working on it. And in regards to careers, many want to enter biotechnology and or pharmaceutical production, and some want to do forensics.
So I'm curious, would she be making blueberries then? Because if a strawberry becomes a blueberry and a blueberry becomes a strawberry, then they would actually be natural blueberries.
Well, so because we are in Exeter, we are SAU 16. We are part of them, but all of our schools they're all our kids. But since Exeter is the Blue Hawks, the superintendent wanted to call them Blue Hawkberries.
Yeah, officially.
But I told him that he really didn't get a vote.
Oh, well,
they should be named after Charlotte. They should be named after Charlotte, our absolutely amazing student.
There we go. I'd like to order some Charlotte blueberries and tilapia, please. Just send them on down to San Antonio, and I might share it with our friend Chris Moody. Says they have the first school to teach Tesla techs in Texas.
Awesome.
So right, I mean that exactly. There's so much going on out there. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that to us.
All right, Spooner's up with Careers in Ed.
Okay. Careers in Ed, and I have to give a shout out to our teacher, Dawn Russell, because I know she's on here, and she made a comment earlier that teaching is a trade, and you're absolutely right, Dawn. Teaching is definitely a trade. So our Careers in Ed program so we're very fortunate. So their lab, this is really cool, is a working live preschool. So we have preschool students that come to SST, and the students in that program get to go down to that lab and be instructors. Now, we do have 2 preschool teachers that are down in the preschool as well. But the students, so the whole point is that the students get to spend time and develop lessons. I mean, obviously they're working on how to develop lesson plans. They study theory, child development, how to work with preschool students, and pretty much teach them lessons, and then observe and figure out, developmentally where they're at. It's just an amazing program, and it's another program you walk into and you just can't help but be happy. Careers in Education, though, it's not just for students that want to be teachers or work with young children. Pretty much anyone that wants to work with people, this is a great program for. So we have students in this that take this program that, yes, some want to be preschool teachers or kindergarten or maybe teach high school age. But we have students that take this that maybe want to get into social work or counseling. Maybe they want to be a coach, speech language pathology. Maybe they want to work in special education or some kind of therapy. So this program is excellent as far as setting up and catering to individual needs and what they think they want. Dawn Russell works really closely with our students and making sure that their internships are meaningful and are what they really want to learn more about. So a lot of our students will go off site and intern in a third grade classroom. And then another one, okay, I tried third grade. Maybe I think I want to try middle school age now and go off and do that. Or if this one wants to job shadow a social worker for a day, they get to have that opportunity to do that. So we have a lot of connections with people that are willing to take our students and do informational interviews or do job shadowing, internships. And yep, it's Don chiming in here.
You gotta make sure, like, get it all in there.
Yep. OT, PT, speech language, special ed. Yep, you name it. There's just so many different careers, and that's why it's not called like teaching. It's careers and education, because there are so many different ways to work with children and young adults and in so many different capacities. So, and this program, yes, does earn college credits as well.
I have a question for Jim. Are you finding an influx of women coming to the construction program?
I am getting more women. It's still not where I think we would like to see it be. There still is kind of a stigma to it. But I will say that I've had some amazing young women. I presently have 6 young women in my class this year, in my classes this year. And they're going on to do some amazing things. As I mentioned, I have a young woman, Jasmine, from Winnacunnet High School, who's going on to become an electrician. I have another one who wants to go on to become a plumber. And so they're doing amazing. A young woman, Addie Stifter, 2 years ago, went on to Institute to become a management project manager. So some amazing women doing things.
Yep. And I have to give out the best news. In the year 2021, Bring Back the Trades had more females apply for our scholarships than males.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
it's a good sign that they're getting into the trades, because we need the females in the trades. So it's good to see that they're starting to really apply for our scholarships.
100%. And so with that, I want to point it out because it's kind of like subliminally out there. Everybody that's on this screen right now, and it's out there in Omniland chatting. Thank you, by the way, for supporting this. We all have something in common. We all have a passion and a drive to close this gap, right, and make things better out there. And so with that, the more connected we are, the more likely that that's going to come across. So if you're on LinkedIn, let's follow each other, give each other a follow. Let's connect. I connected with Miss Wilson today. I was like, oh yeah, like I got a connection. I was super excited. Let's connect with each other so we can share information, so we can ask and learn and support each other's missions out there. Because again, I've heard it, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And the more we bond together, the further we're going to go in closing these gaps and getting the message out about the trades.
If you want to go long, stick with me, because I go long.
A little plug for the ultra runner there.
Yes.
Is there? I know all students are successful, but do you guys have any stories of somebody that's left STA and started their own small business?
Actually, yeah, I'm sure we got a few stories. Jim, do you have one off the top of your head from one of your former students?
He's not one of mine. He was actually in the program a few years before I got there, but his name's Jason Poole, and he now runs JPW Construction. And he's actually on my advisory board now. And he's just one of many, many students that have gone off to do their own thing.
He's actually joined Bring Back the Trades too.
Oh, excellent. Very good.
Yep.
Brad Sawler of Oxland Builders was an original member of the Seacoast School of Technology. He's now Oxland Builders is one of the biggest companies in the area right now.
Do you ever have a reunion of people that have gone through the school?
We should.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We are trying to start really kind of connecting with our alumni more. And in fact, we have upped our social media game, and we often get messages from people who, graduated from our school. And, one young man reached out and said, I would love to come in anytime and talk about how SST saved my life. Like everything I have is because I had the opportunity to go there. So we are trying to connect those more. And I think building to a reunion would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But
maybe just on your Facebook page, you can just put a post out and see what comes running.
Yeah, they used to track them in binders. There were these pages and they would just write it down and then put the binder in the closet. So basically we're trying to like take that information and, digitize it so we can actually get in touch with people.
And what's interesting, I was saying, an interesting thing is I get a lot of students that come back to me that say, you know what? I took your class. I thought it would be fun. I went out and tried to do something else, but now I'm in construction and now I'm doing great. And I hear it every year. I get 3 or 4 students that contact me. Hey, thank you very much. I'm doing great. And I'm using what you taught me. You were right.
Yep.
So.
And that's what I'm doing to bring back the trades. As what I'm going to do. I started doing it last year. We have events. We go to restaurants. We go to car shows. And what I want the face of Bring Back the Trades to be, starting going forward, is all of the scholarship winners, not only just the scholarship winners, any person that's in the trades to be involved in Bring Back the Trades and have the younger generation be the face of Bring Back the Trades. So when you go to events, you see the kids there telling their story, like Jason Poole. He can tell his story, how successful he is. Yep. Because, I'm not a spring chicken. So trying to sell what I'm trying to do to the younger generation won't really work. I need the younger generation that is very successful talking to their same generation, explaining to them, because they always ask me, what's involved? What's involved in the schooling? What's in, this? I can't answer those questions. But the students that have taken the classes and are out on the field, they can sit there and they can answer all the questions, especially for the parents, because, the parents really want to know more than the kids do. Mm-hmm. And that's, everybody knows we have to reach the parents.
If I can give a shout out to Joe Bilodeau. When you asked about past students, Joe Bilodeau was one of my first classes when I first started teaching at the Seacoast School of Technology.
There he is right there.
He took 2 years with me and a year with the welding class. Yep. And he was actually my first student who went on to win the Skills USA competition. Wow. And he competed in the national level. And then he turned around, came back, and now he's our welding teacher at the Seacoast School of Technology. So
and he's fabulous too.
Yeah. Huge
success story.
There's Jason Poole right there.
Yep.
Damn. I'll be seeing him Saturday or Sunday.
That's beautiful. So we've talked about all the amazing things y'all are doing. We're talking about the alumni and all their beautiful stories that they're going out there. There was a comment about culture. Absolutely. We need to transform that. We haven't talked much about employers and how they can contribute to this mission. So here's a comment from Megan Murphy Thuriel. She says, I'm also a board member on New Hampshire Good Roads Association, which is very interested in connecting these programs with our companies to help fill job openings and opportunities. Are those types of connections? Are they evolving? Are they the strongest part? Do they need some extra TLC? Like, do we need to give them some blueberry, strawberry, red berry, pink berries to get them engaged?
We've always had strong industry partnerships, and a lot of that goes is a credit to the advisory board. But unfortunately, for a long time, it was really just another responsibility thrust upon our teachers, who are, they have nothing going on during the day, so obviously they could do it, right? Yep. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Yep. So we started with a work-based learning coordinator. So we have 2 people working on the work-based learning. Sharon Spooner actually almost kind of oversees it. She's got the big picture of the organizational piece on it. And then Jane Foss is our new work-based learning coordinator. And so she'll work with teachers and students and industry partners to get kids connected appropriately and to find out what our industry partners are looking for. So she's really the big contact for that. But also, it's our second year doing it, and of course, we started it in a global pandemic. So it's something we're excited about, and we definitely were thinking of doing, instead of like one large career fair, we were thinking of inviting some people in just into one program to do some types of interviews. And I think Sharon can talk about some of what's happened, like with Munters and.
Yeah, well, and thank you, Ms. Wilson. One thing we've started doing a little more is inviting, like you said, businesses and companies and organizations to come to SST and see the students in action, see them in their home environment, in the labs working. And we've found great success with that. And our partners have been, pretty impressed with what they're seeing. And it's turned into internships and job offers right on the spot. So it's been very helpful in bridging that that missing link. That's, some students may be hesitant to go to a business they've never heard of before, this, big company, and they're just a little intimidated. But when you bring the company into SST, it's just a different feel. And we found great success with that. And our students go on and work with them. And so that's one thing we would like to build on and do more of, and do some mini, maybe job fairs. And instead of just a big thing in the gym, we'd have them just come right to the classroom.
Honestly, you're in one of the smallest states, obviously, in the U.S., but you remind me of that book, The Little Engine That Could. I mean, honestly, it's such a great story. And, I personally am going to do everything I can to elevate, what all the good work that's being done.
Thank you.
And even though it's a small state, we are blessed to be in a very rich environment. In regards to industry partners and being in the at the Seacoast. But our kids can walk downtown to local businesses. And Sharon Spooner and I went out yesterday with a new industry partner that we're like very excited to work with. And it's like kind of tucked away, and yet it's a national, like the national impact is phenomenal. Yep. And we're looking to build a program that'll go on, for years.
To infinity. So we got Emmett DeLay says he's representing Maine Drilling and Blasting, which sounds like fun work.
Yes.
We don't fit into the mold of a typical trade, so aren't really sure where to start to connect with schools and students. And I'm guessing, Ms. Spooner, you got the answers for this one, huh?
Yeah. Get in touch with us, and if we can make it happen, we'll have you come in and you can talk to students face to face and tell them what exactly it is that you do. I'm not sure whereabouts in Maine you are, but if it's not, depending on where you are in Maine, we'll come to you if it's possible. We do a lot of, what do we call them? ELO experiences?
Off-site
externships.
Off-site learning. Off-site learning experiences. They're not field trips. They're off-site learning experiences.
I know.
No, because our classrooms, our work happens out in
exactly.
Real life. So
and if I could just make a little plug as well to Emmett, behind the scenes, we are building a full-out database. So that answer will becoming.
We aren't. Stephanie is.
I personally am, and it's going pretty fast. So making these connections will happen. I assure anybody, probably within the first quarter.
Sharon, I got a question for you. This is the email I get all the time. My son or daughter doesn't want to go on to college, but wants to go into a trade. What trade should they go in? So is like trying to get like job shadows, or even coming to your school to do a tour. And I know there are different states, so I really don't have no connections in all the states, but that's when the parent is feeling like they don't know what to do. The kid, likes to work around the house, but they really don't know what direction they're going in. The parent doesn't know what to do. So what would your answer be to that?
Look for opportunities for hands-on learning. Look for, start young. Start in elementary school. Look for summer camps that offer hands-on learning opportunities like 4-H. SPCA has camps usually in the summer. SST, for example, we offer some summer camps for grades 5 through 8, where like Jim has a building construction summer camp where he had some students come in over the summer and build things. Animal and plant science did the same thing. They call it Pet Detectives Camp. My daughter was a part of that. She's in 6th grade, and she went in and made butter one day and learned how to take care of animals. They made dog treats another day. So look for those kind of opportunities. And then the older they are, obviously, like you said, Steve, start with people start family members. If you've got aunts, uncles, cousins in the trades, talk to them, shadow them. Maybe it's not as intimidating. Or your local mechanic, if you like them, go down and see them. And then reach out to your schools. And then there are obviously connections in the community that you could also look at. Organizations such as us, we could point you in the right direction. If you're not sure who to go to or where to turn, reach out to your local CTE center, your career technical ed center, and I guarantee someone there will help point you in the right direction of how you can start getting those experiences while they're still in high school.
And I also want to give a shout out to First Robotics. I know that they were started. Yes. I know Steve's got conversations going on, but First Robotics is a very cool thing to start to teach kids about fabrication, as well as the combination of the programming and what it takes to run a robot or build a robot.
Yeah. We have a tech fun night that we have at SST on Friday nights, where it's super popular and it fills up fast. But we have students that come in on Friday night. I think it's once a month on Friday night, and they come in and they get pizza, they get fed, and they get to do fun projects, hands-on projects on the computer, and they code things and they work with Raspberry Pis and all those cool toys. Yes.
I like the pies. And also, I'm just going to be like super selfish here. If they want to do some like remote exploration, you can go check out Learnings and Missteps podcast, where we interview people that have built careers in the industry, specifically in the construction industry, but you can get some insight as to what their experience was and like the actual real human beings that are out there in the world. Mm-hmm. We had a beautiful story here. Scott Hill says, late 80s SST was a life changer for me. I was never book smart, if you will. I'm hands-on, and having the trades and SST available to me was an amazing experience. I'm with you, Scott, like totally. Chris is Sharon. Chris from Texas, because Texas, Texas, we're pretty cool down here. I said, invite them to a trade competition. High school students love the welding competitions. Then we got Liz from Apprenticeship New Hampshire, can help businesses build registered apprenticeship programs and then work with school partners to identify interested students. So like the pipeline is coming together.
And every state should have a state career and technical education organization, because they have to do that for the state plan to access the grant. So whatever state you're in, I think if you were to just Google Ohio and career and technical education, it should bring you to that site, and that should be able to show you where the schools are around your area. And there have been recent changes in the federal grants so that the money that we get, we can spend down to 5th grade. So we're working on building more opportunities for younger kids. And every CTE center, will have that same rule, because it's a federal rule.
Yep. Can we do a little explanation of the welding class?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Fire. Fire and flames.
Fire.
Yeah. No, welding. Welding obviously is another popular program, and very impressive. So they do pretty much if you're afraid of metal, flying metal and sparks, it's not the program for you. But in all seriousness, it's definitely a skill. When you talk about a skill, it's definitely a learned skill, welding. You learn, Mr. Bilodeau, who I know is on here, teaches them the basic techniques of like stick, MIG, TIG, plasma, soldering, blueprint reading, which is super important. And I know a lot of people that reach out to us in the industry say, well, can they read a blueprint? And yes, they can. And working with electricity. And it's definitely ideal for anyone that's interested in learning about the metal trades, machining, as well as artists. If you just have a passion of working with metal, this program is definitely for you. And they have a live fabrication shop there where they're working on real projects, real customer projects, and build things from start to finish. And people come in from the community and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And they'll design, they work together to design exactly what they want or need. And the students build it from start to finish. So some of the projects I know that they've built was a rotisserie chicken for a farmer's market. That was pretty cool. And then they completed evidence lockers for a local police department. They built their lockers. Let's see, what else have they done?
I've got a 16-foot trailer that they built for me so that I could deliver the sheds that we built to homeowners.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they work with aluminum, they work with stainless steel, and just learning the different techniques and their welding positions. And everything from metal fabrication, manufacturing, repair, CNC plasma. They do it all. And you can get your OSHA certification in this program as well. And you're going to earn 6 college credits by the end of year 2.
We work
a
with
little shout out to Jesse, because I think Jesse had some kind of person on his podcast that does something with metal, maybe.
Yeah, thank you for that, Steve. So we just dropped an episode. We interviewed Barbie the Welder, who is a metal artist. It landed tonight. Thank you, Steve. So y'all want to check it out? Amazing story, amazing journey.
Can you put up your little logo so people can see it? So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm getting bonus points here.
There you go. So
there it is.
I highly recommend, if you want to see some sculpting, and you want to see a cool guy interview somebody, check him out.
Yeah.
I also interviewed Steve.
Do a lot of collaboration too. So right now we're working with Welding. We're building the free tiny library houses to go in front of the elementary schools. And I went over to Joe and told him, hey, I need a base built so that these libraries can be solid and be permanent. I gave them what I kind of needed, a rough idea. They ran with it. And next thing I know, I've got these beautiful bases that we're going to be able to use to mount these free library books holders out in front of the schools.
I thought another principal ordered some.
Yeah, those are coming.
They're on back order. Supply chain management. Well, so we're at 78 minutes now. I'd like to propose that we give our final thoughts. What do y'all think?
Well, I want to just say one thing real quickly, if I can.
Come on.
I heard a story from one of the teachers when I was there I can't remember what meeting was, to describe kind of a story that I hear a lot. There was a student that was not showing up to school, didn't really like school, started taking automotive, started to really like it. The teacher noticed that he really was showing up a lot. He decided to, really put some effort into him and gave him a little bit of responsibility as far as like teaching the class. And the kid's life totally turned around, because now he had I call it self-worth, but by teaching the class and helping out the other students, because he was really good at the automotive, it changed his life. And the teacher told me that, and I hear that all the time. Some of these students, they just need to feel self-worth. They need to feel part of something. And that I think there's a lot of kids out there listening to this that are they fall into that mold, that they just don't know what to do. And I think if, we just put some time into them, even no matter what kind of student they are, when they find their niche, it'll all click.
Yes. Well said.
Absolutely. Even like you said, even if the student doesn't end up doing something in automotive, everyone's good. Most people are going to own a vehicle in their lifetime or know someone that has a vehicle, and you know how to change your own oil and change your own tire and look for certain things. You're saving yourself a lot of money.
Correct.
Those are valuable skills.
Yep.
And they also learn to work together. And, most of our courses count for math experience. In New Hampshire, you have to have 4 years of, you have to have algebra, geometry, and then you have to have 2 other years of math experience.
Yep.
Most of our programs meet math experiences. And, I go into these meetings and kids will school counselors and will say, well, but you still have to do this. So, maybe we should be looking at this math class. And I said, the kid's got a 97 in automotive.
Yep.
Why isn't he coming back next year? And that's his math experience.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like so important.
And they're like, you can't say he's accepted. Actually, I can. I am the principal, and he has a 97.
My own background. It took me 3 years to pass pre-algebra in high school. Now, I've run my own business for 32 years. I pretty much do all my own taxes. I do have an accountant, but I do QuickBooks. I do math every day because it was fun for me. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't focus in a classroom.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
Don't get me started on how Algebra 1 is the biggest barrier to a high school diploma, or we will be here until 4 a.m.
Oh, my goodness.
But what you're describing is just applied math. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
And this gets back to what Jim said earlier. That is a difference between learning this way or learning in a university setting. That's all.
Yes.
And I got to say, too, I'm a little biased. I love building construction. I tell the students all the time that there's no greater feeling than at the end of the day, looking back and seeing something standing there that wasn't there in the morning when you started. But whether you're taking construction or another program at the Seacoast School of Technology or any program in a career and technical center, you can't go wrong. Whether or not you go on and make a living in that the rest of your life, you will learn things that you will take with you the rest of your life. And you got to do it. You got to do it.
And your family will love you because you can always help them.
They won't leave you alone.
First thing I tell my students, never work for family.
That's why Steve's about to build a laundry room.
Yeah, believe me. And she's listening in the other room. I can guarantee it.
I just wanted to give a shout out because I know we didn't get a chance to talk about all of our programs, but at least if people could just go to our website if they're interested and want to learn more. We didn't get a chance to talk about computer science or culinary arts or digital media arts, health science technologies, marketing, and pre-engineering. But if you go to our website and you can click on the links, there are some videos up there of the teachers and some students that are in those programs, and just take a listen and you get a better insight into what goes on in the day in the life of some of these classes. And I just want to thank everyone on this panel for taking time to do this tonight. And thank you, Steve, Jesse, Stephanie, for allowing SST to be your #1 school, CTE school on here. We're so honored for that. And I'm just thankful to the audience that stayed with us and that were able to join us tonight. And just bringing awareness about the trades and about CTE in general, and that it shouldn't be a mindset of, oh, it's a last resort, let's go into a trade. It should be viewed as like an opportunity. It's just another option. There are many options in life, and we're just one option on that menu of the career path of life.
And speaking of menus, Sharon, and thank you for that, for sure. This is only the beginning.
Yep.
This is going to open up all kinds of conversations and all sorts of opportunities to do very focused live streams on various things that just keep peeling back the layers of the onion.
Yep.
Thank you.
And of course, we can't all forget that if you're out there watching this in any state in the United States and you're in a trade school, post-secondary school, or you're graduating and you're attending a trade school, please go to bringbackthetrades.org and apply for one of our scholarships.
Oh, yes.
There's two ways. There is the essay, and if the essay makes you a little nervous, you can also do a video of yourself why you're deserving. And we pick a different scholarship winner for $1,000 from September 1st until June 1st. But like you have to, the biggest thing is you have to be enrolled in a trade school or post-secondary school, because we pay the school directly.
And so if I could just say, well, first of all, two things. I see Rick Cabral's message. I think we went to high school together. So
I'm actually meeting with him on Friday.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, and actually, I worked at North too while your son was there. So yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. Catherine, we cannot wait to come back to Construction Career Day. And in fact, the administrators are all kind of like fighting as to who gets to go as the administrator. And so, you know, we didn't have a tagline when I came, and our former assistant principal and myself worked on it for a while. And then one day I had this random idea. And so what it developed into was Start Your Story Today, you know, SST. And that is because when you come to our school, you have some type of interest, and there you can develop it and cultivate it with the help of the most amazing faculty. And you can tell how many of them were on here tonight just to support, and because they're so passionate about it. And when you think about it, they really do start their experience today, their story today. They're starting the networking. They're starting with industry recognized credentials. They're starting with dual enrollment opportunities. So we are phenomenally honored to be your first guest. We are phenomenally grateful to Steve Turner and Bring Back the Trades. You know, this is like one of my favorite partnerships ever, and I am just so grateful to Sharon Spooner actually for really kind of being the little engine who really has made this happen. And you know, Jim has always had my back and always been here for nights like this. So I'm again the luckiest principal ever.
And I also thank you very much. But I also, for any teachers that weren't involved with this tonight, you know, we want to give them the opportunity to either do a live with me. I know Jesse's a very busy guy, so I'm not going to put him. If somebody wants to do a live with Bring Back the Trades, you know, the welding, the technology, you know, please let all the other teachers know that this wasn't a one-time thing, that they all can be part of this.
Yes.
So that they all can tell their story.
Excellent.
Love it. All right, y'all.
And you know what else is cool is Miss Spooner now has student ambassadors, and it would be really fun to hear from our kids what their stories are that started at SST.
Bring some students next time, yeah.
For sure.
And I think I heard that her daughter is like an unbelievable, maybe goalie?
Yeah,
yes.
we hope. Yeah.
Yes, she
Loves
is.
it.
Awesome. Well, this was an amazing experience, like super knowledgeable, lots of engagement from students, parents, employers, folks across the country were here. And thank you all for letting me, you know, letting me hear and click around and goof off a bit. So last call for comments, and we're going to shut it down. Steve Turner, final thought.
Oh, all I know is I am so grateful for the five of you. Without you, I would not be. It's just amazing how things happen. I mean, you don't know how I met Jesse. Pretty much I met him and I gave him a ride to the airport, and here we are. Stephanie, we still don't really know how we met. She emailed me one day. Stephanie Brown, we're on the phone 4 hours a day. She's in Toronto, Canada. We Zoom constantly. She helps me so much. You know, I had the idea, but without everybody here, my wife in the other room, my son, I mean, there's too many people to thank, but, you know, I just know where this is going, and it couldn't have gone without all of you.
Yes.
And I just want to take up the mantle from you, Mr. Turner, and say that I've not met somebody so grassroots dedicated who just goes. I mean, you are an ultra runner as a hobby that you do, but as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen in this, you put in all the hard work starting 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Grassroots, put your own money in it, and have put in innumerable hours to bring it to even this point now where we can go out into the world and say, come on, people, get on board. Society welcoming this.
When I look in these students' eyes, I see myself. Because it's when I look in their eyes, whether it's a girl or a boy, I see myself. And, you know, I had no path. Luckily, I call it lucky because I found my niche, and believe me, it wasn't easy to build it, but I was able to do it. So I want to be able to help everybody that needs help. And not just me, we're all doing it together.
Absolutely. Jim, closing thoughts, sir.
I just got to say thank you to everyone for getting the word out, and to all the young men and women out there. Please give it a shot. You will love it. It's hard work. Don't get me wrong. You'll be very, very well rewarded. And at the end of the day, you'll be very pleased with yourself. So give it a shot.
Beautiful. Miss Spooner?
Just want to thank everybody for tonight. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out, to Steve or any one of us here on the panel tonight. As far as SST, you can reach out to any one of us, and we'd be happy to. Our contact information is on the website. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning in.
And a shout out to Riley and Sherry, who just came in at the end.
Yeah.
Sherry, you're definitely getting the laundry room.
Yep. And Miss Wilson, bring it home.
It's just been such a difficult couple of years when you think about the global pandemic and all of the challenges and frustration that, we hear about day in and day out. And yet then you have a moment like this where, these people, we've all come together from different ways. And I look and see not only how this collaboration can help change the lives of kids, but it goes beyond that. It goes to their families. And we're now seeing how our societal infrastructure has been torn apart by this pandemic. And so now this is, bringing together a movement that can help to rebuild our society. And it's pretty darn powerful. And it's humbling to be on screen with all of you. So
beautiful.
Thank you, each and every one of you.
Beautiful.
We all have a part. All have a part to make. And as we often say on LinkedIn, hashtag better together.
Yes.
Better together.
And I also have to say, more of a shout out to the guy in the right-hand corner, Mr. Jesse, because when I called him and gave him my idea, he didn't even think twice about it. And you know what he thought? He thought it was going to be just, you want me just to show you how to do it? I'm like, no, I want you to run it. And to see the smile on his face, it was like giving a kid a candy bar. Yep. He was like, really? I get to be involved? I'm like, no, it's your show.
Yes, awesome.
So please follow Jesse on LinkedIn, Facebook, all of them.
Beautiful. Thank you all, and good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you all soon.